Hey everybody, it's Party Elite. Welcome you back to another live streamed episode of our Suzerain playthrough. Things have been going very interestingly for the last little while. We seem to be making progress on some fronts, but every once in a while it's like every one step forward we take 3 steps back, and then we kind of stumble forward again, and our face ends up falling flat in front of where we were standing, so it's progress, but you end up with a busted lip. So, to summarize, I think things are going pretty well. I guess we'll find out. But first, a warm welcome, of course, to all of y'all hanging out right off the bat today. I hope you've had a wonderful, wonderful week behind you. I hope you have an exciting weekend ahead of you. I hope, again, whether you're catching me live or you're watching this as a VOD, I hope you've been enjoying this series. And I hope we make some good progress today. Jazzy B, we got Ted Knight, we got Natalie P, Nedas, David B, Thomas. Is it Thomas Kochi? Let me know, please. I always want to make sure. And I'm sure that's not the first time I asked either, but bear with me and be a little bit of patience here while I try to nail all the names. Tenson, how goes? It is indeed starting. We got Ease hanging out in chat too, hoping for a despot, undoubtedly. Francois. Hey, first time catching the live? Sounds good, dude. Glad you can make it. Welcome to the live stream. Yeah. I hope it's an excellent time for you. I think that's everyone who's speaking up in chat right now. A warm welcome, of course, as well to those of you who are lurking or are otherwise away from the ability to chat. Might be watching on TV or what have you, or you're perhaps watching the VOD instead. Let's go ahead and hit resume, and I will be the first to admit that, honestly, last session is a bit of a blur. Emmanuel, how's it going? Or Emmanuel? How fares? Ren K 1124, working but always watching, sounds good. Marcus, how fares? Morning to you as well. A cozy, what was it, a cozy bunch this morning? Yeah, I think the different timings are still throwing folks off. It's still throwing me off, but I think that might be a part of it as well. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one, folks. We have some troubles en route. Martinez, how goes? Glad you can make it. All right. So what's the deal? Well, so a couple of sessions ago, we made some trade deals on the topic of what's the deal with a couple of people. Up north over here with Agnolia and down south over here with Welland. That is starting to bear fruit and also bring about the promised troubles, I suppose. Our budget fluctuated back and forth last session a couple of times. I think we were -2. We were -4 at first, and we became -2, and then we became -4 again, and then we went back up to -3, so, a little bit of fluctuation, but ultimately we ended up better off than we were at the beginning of last session, so that's promising, and it is partially because we are supporting, well, it's partially because of our trade deal with Welland, but as a part of that trade deal, we are supporting their systematic, what's the word I want to use here, a control of the situation at the border. Yeah, let's go with that. Now, the international community is none too pleased about that, and they're none too pleased about what what's his name? I keep forgetting his name. What Victor is up to over here, Smolak. We haven't commented yet, and hopefully we'll keep it that way. But yeah, it's perhaps I don't think it won us any brownie points with the international community. What's going on down over here? Ted Knight, I don't know what you're talking about. Jazzy B, what is this? What does that word even mean? I'm unfamiliar with this. Yes, exactly. We're helping him control an ever-burgeoning terrorist population. That's what's happening, folks. I don't know what y'all are talking about, dropping the G word like that. But apart from that, up top over here as well, the island of Helgeland continues to see more tensions brewing between Volksland and Agnolia. Nothing exactly necessarily happened that we kind of played a part of last session, but you can kind of tell that it's coming as again, we have an ally here, a military ally here, and a potential military threat over here going toe-to-toe. Volksland are people we do not want to upset, especially not at the same time as Roomberg is already planning some moves, clearly. But yeah, there's an issue up over here as well. So we're gonna see how that ends up playing out. Beyond that, I mean, what else? We had that conversation with Friends Richter, and he proved to be a friend. It seems without much effort, we were able to clarify that we do in fact have his and his party's support for the constitutional changes. So that should give us a good, like a fair number of votes, if I can find. There we go. So that gives us about 70 votes. It's not bad. Last we checked, we were at like 100 and what was it? Oh man, I keep forgetting the number. 120, 110, something like that. So we're pretty much there, right? I think we're guaranteed, right? I think we're there. We'll find out though. Obviously, those weren't the votes. That was like polling to like get an opinion, which would imply or suggest that we're there or almost there. Once the actual votes come through, we'll see, how it works out. Though, of course, let's not forget that it's not just about the National Assembly. It afterwards goes over to the Supreme Court, and they have to pass it as well. Fortunately, though, I believe 2 sessions ago, we got Orso Hawker here under investigation, the Chief Justice, who is an old guard. He is under investigation by our anti-corruption police, so, hopefully that'll help address some concerns, I guess is the way to put it. And then apart from that as well, last session, we did... Okay, so this is... there's a couple things that happened. I do love that these notes are taken automatically. So first of all, we removed mandatory military conscription, much to the upsetness of one... I keep forgetting the other guy's name. Towman wanted us to get rid of... So Towman wanted us to get rid of mandatory conscription. He felt it was old-fashioned and it was holding us back. Whereas his counterpart, who is not listed here, he actually wanted to keep conscription. He was not too happy about it. We gave him a chance to speak during the secret meeting between Yosef and myself, so hopefully that keeps him appeased. But yeah, following this quality over quantity route, we did upset. Vulcan was his name. Yes, I remember it being a very warlike name. Was it just straight up Kruger? No, Vulcan. Yeah. So the problem is that Vulcan is the guy who could lead a coup against us. I mean, honestly, it could be either of them, but it's more likely to be him. So we tried to keep him happy while also being realistic and reasonable with our our future military requirements. So that happened. I believe that was part of what hurt our, or rather, I believe that was part of what helped our economy, because we're paying fewer military salaries now. Beyond that, we are improving Sarna over here. It is a poorer part of the nation, and we are helping invest in some agricultural development. Again, that cost us some government budget as well. Ultimately, it says over here we privatized the healthcare system, and the game really did make it sound like a mixed economy approach where we allowed the privatization of parts of the healthcare system. I really hope that's what it actually is, and it's not a full privatization, because I would not want that. That's not what I was hoping for, but I guess we'll find out as time goes on. It does make it sound like it's a mixed economy approach, which is exactly what I was hoping for, as I mentioned, right at the beginning of the first episode, the birthday stream that, 4 months ago now? December to January, February to March. Well, okay, 3 months. Fair enough. Close enough. We also improved healthcare staff salaries, hoping to get more people out and about to the rural communities especially, to help improve rural healthcare in general as well, because they are suffering the most. We talked about Friends Richter already, and right, there is the Sarna agricultural mega project that we also contracted to the Swordish State Corporation. It did not cost us any government budget. They are the same people, however, that are failing our highway construction project. So hopefully that's not shooting ourselves on the other foot. We already shot ourselves on the first foot. Hopefully that's not the other foot now. David, coming through as well. Happy Friday to you as well, buddy. Try not to get killed today. I had no promises. I'll be honest, man. No promises. It's getting closer and closer. Beaver Soldier, how fares? Snaps, or is it Snapzy? Big fan, glad to hear it. Hope you're having a good time, buddy. Thanks for coming through. Sergio LP, hey, how fares? Luxia, we early today? Well, it's the whole daylight savings confusion, nonsense, mess, whatever you want to call it. Up until March 28th, it's going to be weird between a few countries, and I think even after March 28th, for some countries that don't do daylight savings, it'll still be a weird time. But this is... Oh, man. I don't want to say this is the new time, because, again, for some of y'all, as of the 28th, it's going to change again. It's just ridiculous. Your economy is trash right now? Yes. Yes. But it is, yes. There's no but there. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Hopefully we'll bounce back. Prince Rada, how's it going? Judah, how fares? Friday party is the best? Well, thank you. I try to be the best every day. I try to be better than the day before every day, and since Friday is like the last day of the week, I guess, it's the best day of the week. You know what I mean? Time is but an illusion. Meh. Look, after the stream today, I'm going to share my melatonin stories in the Discord. On which note, join the Discord, link in the description down below. Like, before I get into recording this weekend's videos and stuff like that, I'm just gonna hop in. I'm gonna tell you a story about what went down these last couple of days. The highway isn't finished yet. Yeah, things will hopefully improve once that and the other projects finish. Yeah, I'm actually surprised. I was expecting this to be done already. I'm surprised to see so much progress with our, like, constitution reforms and stuff like that before this highway project gets done. Goddamn. Honestly. Guns, more guns, says the boss. Man, I don't know what we're going to do if Roomberg does declare war. I've been saying so much that I'm hoping that the diplomatic angle is an option, but the further we get along and the more I interact with chat, the more I realize that I don't know if that's going to be an option. Let's see what's going on down over here. Actually, first I need a quick sip of water. I'll already lose my voice over here, folks. Give me a quick second here. All right, water hits the spot. No, Natalie, it is not. it is unpleasant in both directions. I'll explain it later, though. Whew, man, it's just my luck is what it is. All right, updates on the situation of education. The University of Volgan in Volgan. Who would have thunk? After a meeting with the rector, what's a rector? Does it mean direct? Oh, I've never seen this word before. After a meeting with the rector and a brief tour of the University of Volgan, we gathered in a room with Sierra. The entire campus was visible from the windows. Students were reading books, studying, and having picnics under the trees. You got time for picnics? Come on. get to studying. You see our economy? You think it's going to fix itself? Having picnics. It reminded me of my own times at Dare University of Culture. At least, the more carefree moments. Reminiscing about the past? Yes, it had its ups and downs, but it was still fun. Yeah, let's be. I mean, answering a question with a question is just like the worst thing someone can do. I hate it. So, yes, it had its ups and downs, but it was still fun. And now we're growing old and bitter. Yo, this game is just IDing me right now. She smiled. Let's not get sidetracked. I want to start off by saying this. It comes as a welcome surprise in Swordish politics to see a president uphold their promises regarding education. I'm making sure that the additional funds are being used in the best way possible in order to resolve structural issues. Speaking of, I want to thank you for allowing me to lead our education system in the right direction. By removing nationalist indoctrination and traditional teachings, we have unlocked the potential of the next generation. The students of now will thank us in the future. Okay, this conversation has been very strange as far as the writing is concerned. Oh, I see. Rector is either a religious or otherwise a head of a university. Okay, rector is generally a director of university or of an ensemble of educational structure. Interesting. Rector. I've heard all sorts of education-related words and alternate words, like rustication as opposed to expulsion or, you know, all that stuff. But rector, I've never heard. An individual with an unfortunate title. That's what I was thinking, Ted. That's what I was thinking. Erica, how goes? The SSC have been reformed, so the payoff is the second project is free. True, we did also kick around their managerial staff the previous time around, right? Yeah, we did boost the educational budget, so she is a fan of ours. Boss, yeah, that's what it feels like a little bit. All right, so yeah, the reason why I was saying it's a little weird is because there was a typo earlier, and then the speaking of. Does anyone ever put speaking of at the end of a sentence? That doesn't sound right. Like speaking of should be like, I did that was weird, and then this was weird as well. The students of now will thank us in the future, comma, President Rain. Or the students of now will thank President Rain in the future. This is a weird sentence. For we have unlocked the potential of critical thought that society desperately needed. In this way, you have surpassed all the leaders before you. Sordland needs visionaries like you to reform, to become something better. I like that. A little buttery. I did only what was necessary. That is why we are here. You played a huge part in this too, Sierra. Ooh. 1 or 4. 1 or 4. Remember, I do like her curls. Yeah, we got along with Sierra. Huh. I'm thinking number 4 is nice. Number 1 seems a little you know, it's like stop blowing smoke, you know. I feel like 4 is the truth, and I think she knows it, and it gives her credit for what's done as opposed to just applying pressure for what's to come. Yeah, sure. Let's go with 4. I think I see some agreement there. I did only what was necessary. Maybe I see at least one suggestion for that. Yeah, fair. But I do want to make her feel appreciated for the work that she's put in. You played a huge part in this too, Sarah. Am I the only one who gets 1-2 steps stuck in their head every time I say Sierra, by the way? Every time I read her name or say her name, I get that song stuck in my head. I'm optimistic about the path that lies ahead of us now. She nodded and brought out a stack of papers from her bag. Oh dear. Spinning her ballpoint pen, she went through the papers, organizing some of them together. Our ministry has prepared the necessary framework regarding how to spend our increased education budget. I've outlined 3 potential options. We can build new rural schools, improve the standards of existing ones, or increase salaries for all education workers. Okay, so it's similar to what we did for healthcare. Rank 1124, I apologize. And Jazzy B, I see you. I guess it might be just me. Natalie P, oh no, I'm sorry. It's not the worst song to get stuck in your head. It's not the worst song in the world. Alright, we have the capacity to implement only one of these options. Alright, so it's a little different from the healthcare situation. I could ask, I mean, I don't know if it'll let me ask all questions or if I can only ask just the one. I'm kind of torn between building new rural schools or improving rural schools. It's like spreading education at a lower level or getting higher quality education where, Conrado says, hey, Party, I couldn't get to your lives lately, but I just caught up to them on the VODs. Wanted to say, thou hast become what thou hatest most, a rocket spammer. Well, I'm glad you could drop by today. Thanks for coming through, buddy, and thanks for catching up on those VODs as well. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, just 2 sets of missile launchers. I don't know about calling it spam, but hopefully this next update has course corrected that a little bit. But thanks for coming through, buddy. I don't disagree entirely either. I can ask about all of them. All right, well, in that case, let's start with the top. That's exactly what I was thinking, Natalie. Thank you. Yeah, tell me about the plans to build new rural schools. I'm leaning towards 1 as opposed to 3, but right now it's between 1 and 3 unless you can give us a strong argument, you know, in some different direction. Sean Shaita, how's it going, buddy? Tell me about the plan to build new rural schools. The issue is very critical, as we are losing many young people to ignorance and illiteracy. Sordland's rural population is full of untapped potential. With enough education, these people could be an asset to our workforce and society. Look at how United Contana is pushing past Arcasia in education and research. It's because most of their rural populace has access to schools. Okay, well, what does improving rural schools entail? Where to start? At the very least, they need new equipment and materials. Many of these schools are facing a shortage of desks and textbooks. The ones that aren't haven't been updated since before the Sol administration. If teachers lack the resources to give Sordish youth a proper education, it can be as bad as if they don't go to school at all. Okay. So in her own words, she's saying that adding more schools is not as ideal as improving the quality, because adding more schools, we're giving a bunch more people an education which they may as well not have. That's my understanding over here, right? Okay, so why should we increase the salaries of education workers? The job itself should be held in higher regard and be compensated accordingly. These are people who have chosen to dedicate themselves to the betterment of others, to helping raise the next generation. We ought to give them what they deserve. All right, I'm ready to decide, even though I'm really not. She put the pen down and looked at me. So, okay, this is weird. Sean, yeah, me too, man. I'm surprised I'm still alive. Improving is better in your opinion? Building new ones will not change the issue of quality. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, that's kind of what she said as well. What is the literacy rate? I don't know if we've been made privy to that information. If we take a look at our country overview and we take a look at our, what would it be even? Welfare, I suppose. Inaccessible rural education and inconsistent curriculum seem to be the biggest problems as far as education is concerned. I think we will solve I mean, I don't know if they'll solve. I feel like the better quality of rural education will help with inconsistent curriculum. It'll give them a more updated curriculum and whatnot. Spindle coming through, back at work on Fridays, billing and report time. That does not sound like a pleasant time, but I am glad you can listen in, buddy. Glad you can make it. I hope you're having a decent Friday with that aside. Is it a full work day or is it like a partial work day? Can you like kind of chill in the afternoon, evening? Hope you're enjoying the Friday nonetheless, buddy. Improve it, building don't make the student. Yeah, true. Just having more buildings doesn't actually improve anything. I do agree. I think it was an older conversation back in chapter 1. Which one, Jazzy? Sorry. I missed the context for that one. This is, yeah, quality versus quantity again. You can learn math in a barn. It is true. You can. It's very true, and it's something we do see in like developing nations across the world. It's just like, look, the building doesn't matter. It is a lot of the time the curriculum and stuff like that is what matters more. And I mean, hey, you know, if this polio epidemic spreads, then everybody might have to figure out how to do remote learning anyway, right? Hey, isn't that a hilarious thing that we'll never have to think about in the real world ever having to consider? Let's go ahead and improve rural education by purchasing new materials and upgrading old school equipment. I feel like that'll actually have real impact, and it seems like many of y'all agree as well in chat, and I think that's the way to go about it. Because yeah, ultimately, you know what? If you have the curriculum, if teachers can congregate at, like, you know, under the nearby tree and teach 10 students, you know, based on the new curriculum, that's better than, yeah, sure, they go to a building where they learn about how the old ways were the right ways, you know. Improve rural education by purchasing new materials and upgrading old school equipment. Let's do it. That will definitely improve the education experience for our children. That's all there is for now. I've talked with Miss Suno to schedule some time to discuss the curriculum. She's a very astute woman, your secretary. You may want to consider promoting her. I didn't even know her last name. Like, it's been there forever, but like, her name has come up as Livia in the past every time. Livia Suno. Very well, sure, yeah. She is astute. She's been quite good, yes. We will meet again very soon. Keep up the good work. Sarah put the papers back in her bag and left the meeting room. Anton likes water at parties. Ever called me a party pooper? Keep the money for yourself and throw big parties. Hey man, if you only serve water at parties, I guess that's a way to make savings, right? Oh god, can you imagine? Party with only water. More schools means more upkeep and more admin and more kids being taught crap. Oh, that's also true, actually. It could hurt our budget even more, so to speak. The apples will fall on their heads. They'll be fine. That's just a way to learn about gravity and history at the same time. And then you can give the apple to the teacher, or you can eat it, and that way you don't have to further add a burden to our healthcare. Because, you know, an apple a day. Look, that's just positives, Natalie. You're just listing positives. All right, let's take a look at the news first. I believe okay, looks like there are no issues. It's just straight up to the next thing. It does look like our journal has updated, though, yeah. Rural education will be improved. No update to our country overview, though. Okay, interesting. Not what I expected. See what the news has to say. The Hall Sword Post. A new mega project. Sarna Agricultural Zone. President Rain has just announced the plans for a brand new agricultural zone in Sarna. As per the announcement, Swordish State Corporation has been awarded with a contract. They'll be taking over the daunting task that will be transforming the city and its neighborhood. On completion, this mega project will provide a much-needed production boost, not just to Sarna, but to the entire Bergia region. All right, cool. I mean, this was a non-negative article. That's good. That's good. That's not bad. That's not bad. Welland refugees fleeing to Swordish border. Oh dear. As Welland President Victor Smollett continues his operations against Blutish insurgents in his country, a wave of people, Wessex, Swordish, and Blutish, have been attempting to flee the conflict and cross the border into Sordland. According to the report from the Alliance of Nations, the situation inside Welland is becoming increasingly complex, with many different groups and factions entering and leaving the country. The AN report states that international reporters are no longer being allowed inside Welland, and the information from the country has become increasingly difficult to obtain. It also explicitly warns the neighboring countries of an upcoming refugee crisis. It remains to be seen how the Rain administration will deal with the influx. Wow. Okay. Yeah. You know, it's always a positive sign when you prevent international reporters from entering your country. That's always a step in the right direction. Zimperius, how's it going, buddy? Glad you can make it today. Hope you're having a good Friday. School's closed because it's raining. No, man, you teach about the water cycle when it's raining. And if you're unlucky, you can also teach about pH levels, acid rain, pollution. There's all kinds of stuff. This is all making sense, you know? We should just destroy schools and teach out in the open instead. I think that works a lot better. So killing the Bloods in Welland and binding the Bloods in Bergia to rural serfdom. Hey man, listen. You can twist anything, alright? Inflation effect. Sordland is suffering under excessive inflation due to the administration's excessive printing of currency to cover the debt gap it finds itself in. The absurd action was taken without calculating the effects it would have on the consumer prices, and thus has resulted in the value of the Sordish Wren to drop to its lowest point since the 1928 Civil War. A loaf of bread costs twice as much as before, and the price of water has tripled. It is clear that President Rain lacks the sensitive economic strategy required to serve the working class. Man, everything I've been doing has been to serve the working class. Go dive into this giant body of water that we're charging people to drink from, or one of these. This is probably salt water, or one of these smaller bodies of water. You know, anything. Go dive in it. I don't remember debasing our currency though. That wasn't a decision we actively made. Sergio, why thank you. I agree. I should be made in charge. With skyrocket ahead. Skyrocket ahead. Outdoor learning builds character. Please, is that... Okay, I can't be the only one who thinks of builds character and then immediately jumps to Calvin and Hobbes, right? That's not just me, right? That's not just me, right? Imagine if you didn't spend a single penny. Would the economy be fine? I imagine the economy might have been okay, but I feel like other things would have been problems, you know? Oh yeah, for sure, they're not wrong. Printing money is not a solution, but I don't even remember making that decision. I don't think we did. I think it's just like happening because it has to, I guess. All right, what's going on over here? Inflation crisis hits Sordland. The Ministry of Economy reports that recent government spending has left the country in constant debt. A considerable number of businesses are convinced that the central bank will print more money to cover the deficits. Oh, okay, so it's not necessarily happened yet. Hence, they are selling Wren reserves, resulting in the prices of goods, services, and wages across the economy to rise substantially. Economists in the ministry fear that the country is falling into a debt trap. Man, these guys need to stop being such cowards. Stop reacting to news that isn't real. God, come on. Have faith. We'll bounce back. We'll be okay. Briefing on the current curriculum in schools. Ah, I see. So these are two different conversations then, I guess. Nonetheless, let's have this one. Well, the Ministry of Education. It's because of the budget? Yeah, I assume it's because the budget is low. So yeah, it wasn't an active decision we made, but it's the result of past decisions we've made. When did the radical become the economist? When it became convenient to trash me, I guess. Wait, every time you say "here we go, Jazzy," I get a little nervous. It's like, oh no, this is how I get assassinated while talking about improvements to the education curriculum. I imagine there's going to be a big debate about Solism versus not. Sierra had scheduled a short meeting at the Ministry of Education to discuss the current curriculum taught in schools. The ministry building was located in the government district right next to the Ministry of Health. It was tall, narrow, and wedge-shaped, like a slightly opened book. Oh, okay, interesting. Near the front gate, there were many statues of world-renowned scientists and thinkers. The largest, of course, was of Artvin Einstein. Einstein, the greatest scientist of all time. Above the main entrance was the familiar inscription, Instretten sis agnikar. Oh, why do these have to be so long, man? Av geregna int olla. Oh, like what? Like, okay, look, I'm getting nothing from this. Education is the premise of progress in all societies and all families. Fair enough. Is there a Rosetta Stone out there that I can actually like translate and learn all this? Yeah, Canada too early with the DST. The whole world too eager with the DST, I would say. Yeah, we do it. Canada and the States does it at the beginning of March. Yeah, Nico. How goes? Glad you can make it. Read it, says Jazzy B. All right, let's see. Instretten sis agnikar anginikar ev geregna. See, like I don't know what is this a g or a j sound? Gerenia, int olla Almergwalten, int olla Mexis. Olla obviously means all. Mexis, I guess, means families. This means societies. Like, is this like pseudo-German or something? Anyway, inside the building, I was greeted by Sarah's assistants. They led me to a meeting room where she was waiting inside. She stood and gripped my hand. Whoa, 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 whoa. DST is daylight savings, Sergio. I, too, cannot wait for it to end. Good afternoon, Mr. President. Well, she stood and gripped my hand. Do you mean she shook my hand? Good afternoon, Sarah. Please let go. I will cut straight to the chase. Oh no, I'm gonna die here. This is how it happens. She stabs me with a ballpoint pen. Our progressive reform of the Sordland education system is well underway, but there is one sticking point. Ted Knight. Hang in there, buddy. Hang in there. It involves evolution versus creationism. Okay, this is an easy conversation. As it currently stands, schools across Sordland can decide whether to include evolution, creationism, or both in their curriculum. Rural schools often decide in favor of creationism only, which puts students at a disadvantage when it comes to entering university. The effect is especially noticeable among young women. My suggestion is to make the teaching of evolution mandatory and preferably ban creationism altogether. I don't agree with teaching our children supernatural nonsense like creationism. I don't see a problem with teaching our children both theories. Evolution is the idea that ought to be banned. It's dangerous. All right, see, so there's a slippery slope argument to be made here. And I'm not making it, but one could make it. And I see some of you in chat agree with the slippery slope argument. Don't know. See, it's like, okay. How do you say this? How do you phrase this? When you start banning things from being taught, you're opening the doors to banning other things from being taught. And that's okay. You know what? I'm making the slippery slope argument. Here you go. So that's a problem, right? You open the conversation. Well, you banned this, so why not that? Or, well, you're banning things now, so education isn't open. There's all those arguments. There's the cultural and social arguments as well. But then on the flip side, I mean, arguably, shouldn't some things be banned? Like, can you imagine if you were taught the flat Earth theory at school? I think that should be banned. That's just no, that it shouldn't even be entertained as a thought. Like, stop it. Is it bad to ban things from a curriculum? I guess the answer, as it often is it depends. So then the question goes, well, is creationism problematic at the same level in the context? Religion has no place in public schools. Oh, you know what? You're touching on a very crucial point I wasn't even thinking about there, David. That's a very good point. I wasn't thinking about that. These are public schools, and we got to separate state and religion, right? I'm seeing a little bit of back and forth. I saw quite a few 2s at first, and I see a couple 1s. I see Ted Knight respect their ability to decide for themselves. But see, that's the thing. It's not about the kids. It's not about the kids, it's about the teachers. You'll get teachers who are just like, no, I still prefer the old ways. So when I teach about evolution, I'll talk smack, and when I teach about creationism, I'll talk about how great it is. So, yeah, I'm teaching both, but really you're not. Censorship is a dangerous road, it is indeed, but see, that's the thing, it's like, it's a dangerous road, yes, but, we censor things all the time. We censor things all the time because sometimes they need to be censored. Can you imagine literally teaching the wrong thing? Like, literally teaching kids the wrong thing, as if it was the right thing. While evolution is a better theory, I think we should still teach creationism. An educated person can make an informed decision when provided both sides of the story. Not always true. It depends on how you were informed. It depends on how you were educated. It depends on how you were taught. If a subject has no basis at all in science, then it shouldn't be taught in school. Yeah, that's another fair point. We see David's religion has no place in public schools as well. Compulsory teaching that the earth is flat. Can you imagine that? Being forced. Can you imagine as a teacher being forced to teach that the earth is flat? And can you imagine at like an elementary level being like, hey, yeah, This is a theory. It could be, the world is flat. Flat Earth theory and creationism is not synonymous. I would love to hear the arguments behind that, because I feel like there's definitely some parallels. At the very least, there are some parallels. There's no room to discuss both. What needs to be taught is critical thinking. The world is flat and carrying the back of elephant sat on a turtle. Is that the full theory? I'm not aware of the full theory. If the knowledge is incorrect or wrong, then you have to ban it, I assume is what you're saying. The world isn't flat. I mean, hey man, I'm just making stuff up here. We got religious education in school, but it is a choice. Yeah, you can like get elective religious education, or you can go to a private school. Not that we have that here, but like in public schools, yeah, teaching religion in public schools is that questionable kind of fuzzy line. I think there's no discussion here. Some things aren't debatable, like flat Earth and creationism or whatever else, says Sergio. Creationism can still be taught in private schools and religious institutions. Yeah, exactly. Like in public schools, we should leave it out where we have control. Why not? It's so absurd that you can prove it just by walking outside. Let kids be taught the ideas of the past and the present, and encourages their ability to learn. What do you mean, Ted Knight? You can prove that the Earth is not flat by walking outside? I mean, there are some documentaries out there where people are actively, the reason why I bring up flat Earth is because it is a surprisingly prevalent conversation right now out there, and it blows my mind, but it is, and you can absolutely prove it all wrong in countless ways, and that's when you get some of the really strange opinions coming out. So nothing is impossible as far as people's opinions are concerned. Trying to like just keep up with all the conversation in chat. This is a pretty interesting back and forth, so I'm curious. I hope y'all don't mind a little focus on chat over here. So a religious kid who goes to school has to reject his beliefs when he enters school. A religious kid who goes to school will be taught empirical, scientific truths, and he can continue his beliefs back at home just fine. Religious education does not take place at the school. It takes place at home. It takes place at your local temple or church or whatever the equivalent is for this faith, but not at school. Especially considering that we have multiple ethnicities and, as one can expect, perhaps faiths and stuff as well. So a religious kid who goes to school has to reject his beliefs when he enters school. No, he just has to accept scientific truths being taught to him, I guess. Also, the fact that these schools force students to learn a religious topic is a violation of the right of some students who are of a different religion. That's a good point as well. This isn't the decision. This is just Anton's starting opinion. Oh yeah, I mean, it's still a fun debate. Ban both. Just talk about nothing. Teach them about apples falling off trees. Have extra recess instead. Ban school. I'm liking this. Ban evolution. Not a chance I'm gonna do that. Human biases tend to get in the way. They do indeed. This can backfire. I'm sure it can. We do have yes, friends. So we do have a religious population. We do have religious figures. So this could be problematic. Human evolution. Oh, I'm not even restating that sentence. This is just Anton stating his opinion. I'm making decisions at this point. Oh yeah, for sure. I'm just like, because I'm trying to figure out. We know where this conversation is probably headed. So I'm just preemptively having it. Most religions reject human evolution. I don't know. See, it depends, because a lot of religions in the real world have kind of adapted to include evolution as a part of the conversation. So to say most religions, it's hard to say. I mean, I can't say. I'm not informed enough in all the religions across the world to be able to make a statement like that, or to affirm or disagree with the statement like that. At home, it's your family choice, not at school. Got Lutheran, Protestant, Greek Orthodox religious education, and also non-religious worldview education that covers all types of religion and ideologies. Well, we in Canada, we have, like, depending on your school, we have like world religion classes where you study religion from a what's called like sociological angle, which is different from okay, so as an example, I went to Catholic school for 3 years as a kid. A great school. Every Wednesday we went to the church that was attached to the school, and we sang hymns. I am not Catholic. It was a strange experience. But in a non-religious school, I've still seen religious education where you don't sing hymns or say prayers or what have you. So, like, you know, like, you can teach religion. There's 2 ways to go about teaching it. As much as I'd love to see the discussion in the chat, I think it's dumb. This is a political topic. Aren't you breaking your own rule of no current day politics in chat? Is this politics? I don't know. I don't know if this counts as politics. Flat Earth is not politics. Religion and state intermingling is like an age-old debate. This has been a conversation since, like, it's a historical thing. I don't know, I see what you're touching on, though. It's a tough thing. Non-binding vote, just to see what people feel. Just came from the 2021 strategy game video. Interesting topic. You've dropped in at a very interesting time. Everything is political. Yeah, everything can be political for sure. For sure. This is an interesting one. There is a belief that the lack of religious teaching in public schools means that religion is banned. That is not true. You can be religious and not learn it in school. That is your answer. Yeah, I mean, there's basically. But the thing is, as president, what I love about this game is that it doesn't matter what I think, what I mean by the answer. It matters how the press twists it and turns it and uses it against me. Conrado, yeah, just because people make something into politics doesn't mean it is politics, though, and it's very important to remember. There's this desire to make everything a political conversation, and sometimes things aren't a political conversation. Sometimes things are made into a political conversation to sway people who are most swayed by political conversations. You know what I mean? Let us actually get an unofficial vote over here. I don't even know what to like. And again, this is a non-binding vote. I've made my decision, so don't abstain from it. Creationism slash evolution. All right, so let's see. What are my numbers here? So 0 is going to be abstain. Abstain. Then we're going to have 1, which will be evolution only. Then we have 2, which is both. And then we're going to have 3, which is creationism only. Again, this is non-binding. I'm not going to use it to influence my decision. I've made my decision, but I am curious to see what folks have to say in chat. So the way to vote, again, the format is ! The word vote. You put a space, and then you get the number in there. Again, please don't abstain. I've only put it in so that we can keep the numbers matching what you see on screen. And I just want to, it's just for fun. I want to see. Folks, make sure you follow the structure there. As you can see, yeah, ! vote, and then space, and then the number. Yeah, there we go. Good. I think folks have caught the. Yeah, looks like it. And again, don't spam votes. Only 1 vote counts, etc., etc. Y'all know the drill. Your first vote is what counts. Yeah, that was an interesting conversation to have on a Friday morning. way too early in the morning for that conversation. But hey, on the note of ease, you got a double ! Oh, okay, I see you corrected yourself there. On the topic of interesting conversations and interesting people to have those conversations with, this might be a terrible time to segue. But folks, if you aren't already in our Discord, it is a fantastic community of fantastic people. Don't hesitate to dive on in. Link is in the description down below. Don't people not to abstain at all. It's always a valid choice. Oh, that's a fair point, Nico. That is a good point. You're right. I should not have asked people not to abstain. You are absolutely right. My apologies on that one. My genuine apologies on that one. Abstaining is absolutely an option. It is better, in fact, arguably, to abstain than to not vote at all. I don't know why I said arguably there. I would say that's almost certainly the case, but I would love to hear arguments against that. My first vote, says Francois. The feeling is better than my real-life first vote. I'm glad to hear it. A quick sip of water over here, folks, and I we'll pop up the results. Honestly, this is not how I expected today's session to go / begin, if we could say that. All right, I think that is the voting done. Voting to abstain to vote is beautifully ironic. All right, we're gonna go ahead and stop the voting over here, and we'll see the results. It is water at present, Jazzy B. It is water at present. Here, our votes can really move something. Feel the power. Vote can always move something. All right, Abbas, you got your vote in as well. I want to make sure it gets counted in here, and all right, done. Let's notify chat of the winning option. Yes, absolutely. All right, so the poll has been closed, and the numbers are interesting. So Evolution won with 18 votes. Second place was Teach Both, came in with 10 votes. And Creationism Only got 3 votes. It would appear my position has been thoroughly voted down. Oh well, long live democracy. Indeed, 18 is a lot. 18. This is actually the most number of votes we've had in a poll in a very long time, with roughly the same, like, you know, viewer count and whatnot. So it's this conversation has clearly touched on something. Just throwing it out there. This kind of stuff I find fascinating. But yeah, I mean that is a lot. That is quite a few. That is quite a few votes. And 18 versus 10 is quite a decent sized gap when you consider percentages. More people voted than liked the video. Folks, if you're enjoying the video, if you enjoyed that little voting session of ours, hit that like button. Thanks, Spindle, for bringing that to my attention. Hit that like button and let me know if you'd like to see more of this game on the channel and more games like this on the channel. There's another one out there that I'm thinking of covering, actually. Oh man, Emmanuel, monkey together strong. Oh dear, yes. Apes together strong, baby. Probably because it's an interesting discussion. Oh, exactly, Simperius. And it is. I love this kind of stuff. Almost a supermajority true. It is an interesting topic, but yes, I don't agree with teaching our children supernatural nonsense like creationism. That's great to hear. It sounds like we're already aligned on the matter. That's correct, Abbas. You're not related to a monkey. You're related to an ape. A couple of, just a handful of generations back. A Persian president? Oh dear. We're not, yeah, I mean, someone, listen, look, it's just a matter of who's going to assassinate us at this point. It has been for a while. Oh, you didn't get to vote, Marcus? Yeah, sorry to hear that, dude. I tried to keep it open for as long as possible, but yeah, I understand, like, yeah, for sure some folks are going to miss that opportunity. My apologies. My apologies. Excuse me, Lucien Glade says, some urgent business kept me away. You know, I completely missed that he knocked and entered. Welcome, Mr. Galate. Ooh, is he going to be the opposition to this point of view? Mr. President, Miss Waldo, why were you late? Seems this guy's always on time. Seems a little rude. Glad you came. I need to hear some opinions that make sense. Wait, what? We were just discussing the curriculum. Sierra has made some excellent points. Let's go with that one. I feel like that's a bit more fitting with. Oh, Ted. I mean, I was being hyperbolic, or what's? I guess is the opposite of hyperbolic. What is the opposite of hyperbolic? Like there's exaggerating and understating. There's, you know what I mean? Grabbing some pizza and groceries sounds good. Nico, thanks for dropping by today. I hope you have yourself a good rest of the day. If you don't make it back in time for the stream's continuation, but thanks for coming through, man. Thanks for coming through. I would say, yeah. Sierra's made some excellent points. I think that's in keeping with what we were saying. I don't want to, like, whatever. He had some urgent business. Sure, it's fine. I'm not his dad. Whatever, it's okay. Well, hypobolic. Is that actually, or are you throwing it out as a suggestion? Not hyperbolic. I love it. David coming through with that super chat. Now is a great time for a cup of tea. Well, if it's for me, yeah, it would be. But then I gotta brew the tea. If it's for thee, then enjoy. Enjoy. Always is a great time for a cup of tea. But thank you for that super chat, buddy. Again, as always, it really helps the channel. I cannot stress enough. Keeps it alive, keeps it running smoothly. Helps these live streams as well. They've been honestly, they've been great for the channel, as assisted by the super chats and the memberships and all that kind of stuff. So greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much. Understated is the opposite of hyperbolic. Really doesn't sound as cool as hyperbolic. Hyperbolic has like this, authority to it. All right, we're just discussing the curriculum. Sierra has made some excellent points. I think, where was it? I saw it just moments ago. Haven't thought of Lucien. Oh, yes, Imperius. Interesting if he's going to make an argument for creationism. I think, if anything, Lucien might make an argument for, just throwing a prediction out there, I think he's going to make an argument for not upsetting the religious population of the country, which is a pragmatic conversation to have. So, we'll see. There's no such word as hypobolic, as far as you know, Spindle. Maybe there should be. Continuing from my previous point, it is my conviction that we should require the mandatory teaching of evolution in Sordland's public schools and cut creationism completely out. If we want children from rural areas to have the same opportunities as their urban counterparts, This is the way. Okay, how can we say no to her when she says this is the way, right? Them's the rules, right? No, oh no, so don't worry about the vote there. I was more me just kind of getting the temperature from chat, like just to get an idea of what chat feels on the topic, but my mind had already been made up going into that vote. The angle I'm playing, I've been trying to play sort of uplift society, modernize the nation, and the unity angle, all creed and culture and ethnicity are welcome. We've had open immigration, so it's a pretty, open-ended approach, I would say. Economy-wise, we're trying to do a mixed economy, though I don't know if the game is really made for that. Ted Knight, that's the best argument I've heard for this approach. What? This is the way? Be very careful with Mandalorian spoilers. I'm only at like season 2, episode 4 or 5 or something. Recently catching up. So please, as long as there's no like spoilers in chat, I don't want to. I've been having a great time with it. I don't want it spoiled though. Sometimes I get suspicious when folks are so adamant in their opinions and beliefs. You mean Sierra's like way of stating her opinions here? I see what you're saying. Opening students' minds and reducing the role of religion in school will also lead to more equality between young men and women. Miss Walda, don't bring your pet cause into this. Mr. President, there are other considerations you may not have thought about. Yeah, see, here we go. Although I myself believe in evolution, we must be careful not to alienate our rural conservative voter base. We owe a lot to their support. Forcing their school districts to teach evolution could irreparably damage our standing with them. Every modern nation is reducing or removing creationism in their curriculum. Yet we're supposed to allow schools to promote fundamental and, yes, sexist ideas from 1,000 years back? So, is that what we're doing now? Copying what other nations are doing instead of paving our own way? If it works, why not? Look at the analysis. It is clear that superpowers are doing something right. Should we reinvent the wheel, Mr. Galati? You speak as if we don't import any influences from other countries. That's not what I said. Their voices started to get louder and louder. I held up my hands for silence. That's the angle I expected Lucian to have. That's the angle I expected Lucian to have. Totally off topic, have you thought of replaying Stellaris with the new DLCs? I have been tempted, Sergio, especially with this latest DLC they've been showcasing. It's very tempting to get back into it. I haven't played Stellaris in so very long, though, so it'd be like watching a beginner play a game that has been out for 5 years now. But it's been very tempting. I'm curious. I'm curious about interest level on that. When will the next Workers and Resources video be up? It will be up this Sunday. I was a little delayed because I'm doing something a bit more ambitious than I expected for episode 175, but this Sunday is the target, and it should be good for then. Don't have Disney Plus spindle. I ended up getting it. It's got some... There's actually... I can't believe I'm saying this, but there's actually some good stuff. At least in Canada. I don't know if they're region locked and whatnot, but there's some good stuff on there. Only the Sith deals in absolutes. I've always loved that line because that line in itself is an absolute. It's just such a contradiction. It shows you the problem with the Jedi. Yeah, I could talk about Star Wars for hours, though. Let's not let's not set me on that path, I guess. One here. We can still allow creationism to be taught alongside evolution. Sarah, you said you could live with that. Evolution is the way forward. Creationism has no place in the public school curriculum. Schools should be able to teach creationism exclusively. Okay, so 3 is obviously not the option we're going for. I expected Lucian's angle to be exactly what it is. I gotta figure out where I stand over here. Because we gotta think about the arguments that I was making previously when it was just Sierra talking, right? Do I genuinely believe what we talked about earlier? Because when I say I'm talking about Anton here, by the way, because it's not like we were unaware of this potential over here of course the religious conservative base and things like that. I hope 175 lives up. Let's not hype it up too much though. 3 is very reasonable. What? Nice try there. Snap the belt, it's decision time. We haven't had a chance to pull that belt out in a while, eh? Abdel Mese, how's it going, buddy? Abbas, it's a big country with many different people. Well, that's exactly why you shouldn't exclusively teach a non-scientific thing, because if it's a big country with many different people, they will all have different inclinations as far as religious topics are concerned. So you're countering yourself there. My objective should be to regain power every 5 years, or however many, whatever the election cycle is in Sordland. This is true. This is true. Maybe I will go with 1 here. Maybe I should prioritize my re-election a little bit. If Lucian's argument is whether or not alienating a voter base, then the decision is between doing what is right or doing what's better for your political career. When you put it like that. When you put it like that. Abbas, we're not banning religious beliefs. It's very important to understand that. We're not banning religious beliefs. We're not teaching them in public schools. There's a big difference. There's a big difference. They can have their religious beliefs. That's why we have temples and churches and all that other stuff. But but at school, it's different. If you lose, the good you make can be undone. Yeah, that's also a good point. That's why you got to keep winning. I gotta figure this out. I know I'm taking a long time on this one, but this is a big one. There are religious schools. Yeah, typically those are private schools, though. I mean, again, depends on your country. Depends on the country. I can't speak globally, but typically, faith-based schools are private institutions. Our education system in Sordland is a public school, public education system. Oh man, this is a tough one. You know what? Look, we're gonna be assassinated anyway. Why not let it be by some you know, we've got political enemies, we've got cultural enemies, we've got social enemies, we've got ethnic enemies. Why not make some religious enemies as well? Why not, right? Roll dice. I don't think I have my dice rolling on Streamlabs. I could just roll a D3 over here. Let's go with evolution is the way forward. Creationism has no place in the public schools curriculum. You know what? That was what I said before Lucian got involved. I'm gonna stick to it. Let's do it. Let's do it. We're gonna be assassinated anyway is the second best argument I've heard. Hey man, it's the only one I've got. If you go against the greater good to stay in power once, then what does it stop? If you go against the greater good to stay in power once, then what does it stop? Well, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. What we can hope for is that it's like a... in some ways, I almost don't want my party to win again, you know? Oh, he did, says Artonicus. Yeah, man, for sure. Thank you. As I said, it's the only way to produce a new generation of thinkers. There are other methods of bringing Sordland forward, ones that don't sever our ties with an entire voter base. Ciara looked me in the eye. It is your decision. Don't forget, future generations of Sordish youth are counting on you. Yo, I thought that was the decision. What? Why are you making me make the decision like 4 times? Why? Why you do this to me? Why you do this to me? Ciara is power hungry? I mean, she might be. Slippery slope. 1 is the compromise option, but hey, what's life without risks? From now on, creationism will be banned and only evolution will be taught. Oh, you talked about the previous thing. I will make the teaching of evolution mandatory, but schools may promote creationism alongside it if they wish. Phrasing is also so important. We will stick to the current system. Evolution will not be mandatory, and schools that wish to teach creationism exclusively may do so. See, when they phrase it like this, it's a lot more agreeable. because of my bad decision making 4 times it'll ask me. Honestly, feels like it. It's like the game knows I'm indecisive and it decides to make me have to say the same thing like 20 times. Two is good as it allows the rural population to learn evolution. 5 years down, you can slowly weed it out. That's kind of what with this phrasing. That's kind of what I'm thinking here. It's giving you the chance to do the right thing, Artonicus. Yeah, one could say so. It punishes indecision and doubt. God, tell me about it. I see, again, with this phrasing, I can go with 2. They may promote creationism alongside it if they wish, but evolution is mandatory. Oh, God. And then, yeah, down the line, you kind of, you weed it out, you know? In our next, 1, or you will look weak. It's not about looking weak. I think 2, no. This is, we're not a tyranny over here, or a dictatorship, as much as Ease would have preferred that. It's okay to change your opinion. It's always okay to change your opinion. Do 1. You've been saying 1 all along. 1 or you will look weak. I'm seeing a lot of calls for 1. Agree with her on everything. Why would we back down now? Yeah, good point, good point. The thing is, like, promote is a very different word, exactly. This discussion is better than TV. Well, I'm glad to hear that. And yeah, K Percy, that's kind of like what I'm seeing. That's what I'm thinking as well. 1 is, yeah, no, oh no is touching on something important there as well. 2 is lame, just letting it stay. Which option lets me skip work and go back to bed? All of the above, just call in sick. Does that work? Good morning, dude. Hope you're having a good day. Having a person ruling with an iron fist doesn't make it tyranny. It just makes you a great leader. Though I do like the typo there. Ruling with an iron fish. I like it. You went 1 even when 18 voted 2. So if you can resist us, why cave into Lucian? No, 18 voted for what I was going to vote for anyway. Jazzy, you've got that mixed up. 18 voted for an evolution-only education. Tough. Because again, another interesting point has been brought up in chat is like, well, if we lose the next election cycle. Okay, so here's the thing. If our party loses, it's a catch-22. If our party loses the next election cycle because of my decision here, while it's bad for my party, arguably, seeing all the struggles I've had convincing my party to do quote-unquote the right thing, it's almost a preferable outcome as a character. As someone who maybe cares about their political career primarily, you'd want to kind of like strike that middle ground and try and win again and keep making the good decisions. The problem is, if the USB changes who they put forward as a candidate for presidency, right, and then they win and then they reverse all my decisions. We don't know when the election is. No, we do not know. Yeah, screw it. I'm gonna go with 1. From now on, creationism shall be banned, and only evolution will be taught in schools. That's been our angle up until now. We're not going to change it now. And I made that decision because I have to make a decision, and I think our party sucks. The struggle to get these electoral reforms, the sheer power that this party has held on to for so long, the line of thinking that it has had for so long, and it refuses to change. It's a slowly turning ship, and a slowly turning ship hits the iceberg, doesn't dodge it. So, yeah, let's do it. Excellent decision, Mr. Rain, says Sierra. It's assassination time anyway? Yeah, exactly. As a chief strategist, my job is to advise you on the political landscape, and I can guarantee that this won't do us well. Sometimes there are more important things, Mr. Galati. Like ideals. They turned and looked at each other. Lucian lifted his eyebrow, and Sierra held his gaze for a couple seconds. The meeting ended shortly after. I think we've more or less shot ourselves in both feet and the kneecaps. If it was a dictatorship, then I wouldn't be talking about the next election. If it was a dictatorship, then I would have just not cared at all about that. Ranjiwan Kim, I just got here, but I'm super late. All good, buddy. Thanks for coming through. David B, gotta go and get groceries. Sounds good. Have fun with the shopping trip. And thanks for coming through. Thanks for dropping by. Hope you had a good time. Tonicus, they're totally sleeping together. Okay, I'm not the only one who thought that. Just the phrasing there. You might have lost some votes for your constitution too, you know. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, you're right. Like, I'm not making any friends in this playthrough. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to change the country. At the cost of my life, perhaps. Evolutionary education. I like that. Good. I like that. Good word choice. Under the new law, creationism doctrines are banned from all educational institutes. Any school or universities that are were teaching are taught teaching creationism from the moment the law is passed, will be closed. Furthermore, evolution doctrines will be mandatory. Every educational instructor is required to have a certification under evolution subjects to qualify for the job. Cool. And it's changed. It's removed one of the red current situations. Who wants to be president anyway? Being a target is way more fun. Now, who wants to be president anyway? Honestly, my life was so less stressful. 6 news articles. Oh, people got opinions about this. People got opinions about this one. What else do we have over here? Our codex has updated. I don't know how this is gonna go down. Party leaders. Fetty, I guess, just came up. What's new? We already know the other two. This one's the new one, I think. Something about the British parties and whatnot. I imagine this will be in the news. What do we got over here at Benfi? After the implementation of the new curriculum, which banned creationism from schools, the head of the Teachers Association of Sordland, along with 8 out of 12 members, have resigned in protest. Following suit, teachers and principals from various schools in Benfi have also left their jobs. Approximately 1,600 teacher positions are expected to be refilled in nearby regions. Well, I mean, Benfi was a big push in my decision-making there. Y'all remember the speech that guy was giving at Benfi? That was crazy. It's not about a legacy, not your life. What better way to make a legacy than to die for it? Hey, good point. Hey man, you gotta out with the old and with the new, right? This is a what is life without risks play. Yeah, that's a good way to kind of thematically place it. They self-purged for you. Yeah, they made all the decisions. There was the option to ban evolution altogether. There was. That was always presented. We could totally say creationism only. One information we didn't have is how much of our population is rural and how many live in cities. I imagine by the context, most population is rural, but I don't know. I think a lot of our population is rural, but that's clearly the game doesn't divide it in that way. I mean, it is obviously part of the consideration, but Benfi is a major city. It's a tourist hub. It's a major city, and they clearly had a bunch of teachers who were not okay with what the decision we just made. Economic report from Volgan. Volgan is suffering the effects of the economic recession, with unemployment spiking and many small businesses shuttering. The larger agricultural concerns are expected to announce a wave of layoffs as sales slow. Well, hopefully our development of the Sarna region will help. I don't know. They're kind of connected-ish. Sort of. I don't know. I don't know if it'll help. Welland update. We'll do that in a bit. I believe that's the only one left. So Welland news and then whatever's going on over here at Hallsword. Gonna start some riots, man. We're gonna start some riots. I wish that was their religion, Natalie. Much more palatable, I suppose. A lot more equality on that one. Nice to see the other side of the coin. Yeah, I get that a lot, actually, from chat. Plenty of teacher jobs in Benfi. Yeah, exactly. You know what? If anything, we're gonna help reduce unemployment. I hope those teachers that quit have decent savings, and then some unemployed folks can now get some jobs. Welland operations, a mixed success. Welland President Victor Smollett is drawing his operations against the British Freedom Front to a close. The consensus is that while Welland's army went a long way towards neutralizing the British threat, there were many preventable casualties. Furthermore, despite Welland's best efforts, not all hideouts have been eradicated, and anti-Smollett sentiment is at an all-time high among the remaining insurgents. Very well. Very well, very well. What does the news have to say? Holy crap, the Hallsword Post. Yo, you got a lot of writers with a lot of free time. Radical. Big win for science as Rain forces schools to evolve. Perhaps swayed by the valid arguments of Education Minister Ciara Walda, President Rain made the decision to ban the teaching of creationism in public schools and make evolution a mandatory part of the curriculum. This switch is a huge step forward for Sordland's rural youth, who have long been at an educational disadvantage compared to their urban counterparts, and a welcome display of clear-headedness from the Rain administration. Okay, so I guess rural versus urban is making a bigger play over here than expected. With all the riots, you create jobs for police as well. Win-win. Oh god, it's imperious. Oh god. You made it harder to become a teacher, so less jobs? No. I made it easier to become a teacher. Significantly easier to become a teacher. And then my decisions helped open up a bunch of jobs as well. Let's hold off on personal attacks over here. I assume it's all well and good fun. Let's not get into personal attacks. Sordland today has privatization. The future of Sordland. Don't let the pro-government elites fool you. Nationalization of Sordland's Big Four corporations would be a disaster for our country. Instead, we advocate for the privatization of state-owned enterprises, Nadam Mining and the Sordish State Corporation. Both companies have grown sluggish from lack of competition. Even private interests taking a minority stake could lead to a greater innovation and a brighter future. This is why I think a mixed economy is the way to go, but again, as I've stated a couple of times now, I don't think the mixed economy is really that thoroughly an option here. Silver lining thinking is golden here. Or looking up at with all the yes, with all the riots creating more jobs for yes. gotta love that silver lining thinking. Gotta love it. All right, let's be careful about actually now starting to talk about present day politics. I will be healthy with the timeouts. We can keep it in the context of the game. Pro-government elites can't be you party. Yeah, nope, not at all. Not at all. Dare prepares for Day of Dissension. The city of Dare is busy preparing for the Day of Dissension, the annual celebration of the founding of Nurity. Though religion plays a smaller role in Sordish daily life than in years past, the day still holds special importance for many Nurists, thousands of whom have already begun undertaking the pilgrimage to the tomb of St. Dest. The cathedral in which it is located, Dare's Ark Sanctuary, is currently undergoing renovations set to be completed in time for the festivities. In accordance with presidential tradition, Anton Rain will be making an appearance at the event. See, we haven't banned religion. It's all well and good. Kisara raises the Blutish question. Uh-oh. Now I gotta keep an eye on chat, because nobody's listening to me. I will, again, like I said, I will start handing out timeouts. No personal attacks. No present-day politics. Let's keep it civil. As Ease says as well, yeah. Yesterday, in the Grand National Assembly, NFP leader Kisaro Kibner proposed a law that would make Sordish the only language accepted in educational institutions, boldly standing up for Sordish culture and tradition. This law, the Unified Education Language Act, is squarely aimed at the Blutish community, whose integration in Sordish society has long posed a problem. Educating children solely in the official language of this country will help cement their Sordish identity and quash the threat of Blutish independence in Sordland, said Kibner in his speech in the assembly. All right, fair enough. Kibner. Is this man here, leader of the National Front Party, in case we've forgotten. Yeah, Kibbs. What a nickname. I bet he would hate that too, Kibbs. Hey Kibbs, how's it going? Oh man. I look at this man's face. He definitely does not like being called Kibbs. Overblown rights case appealed. Today, the politically motivated and controversial court case by Ishaval Urson has made its way to the Supreme Court to be reviewed. The mayor of Dare, Felix Braun, has dismissed the presence of systemic racism in the region of Bergia and accusations against law enforcement, citing that the Blutish are being influenced by the Blutish Freedom Front, who wishes to radicalize the people for their dark aims. All eyes are now on Chief Justice Hawker and the Supreme Court to determine if the case has legal grounds or not. Many justices have already come forward to dispute the claim that the Constitution is not being upheld by the state of Sordland when it comes to the treatment of the Blutish people. Yeah, but the Supreme Court is currently in control, under the control, or being influenced entirely almost by the old guard. Yeah, Natalie, I don't think he likes us kibbing around. Big Kibbs, what up, bruh? Kibby Wibby. Oh, that's his like nickname at home. Oh man. Alright. Nationalize the Big Ford now. As the debate about privatization versus nationalization intensifies in the capital, the Whole Sword Post firmly believes that President Rain should come down on the side of nationalization for all of the so-called Big Four companies, including the currently fully private Heart of Sordland and Burgia Steel. Full nationalization would prevent price gouging and prevent CEOs like Marcel Caranti from consolidating power, but even the government taking minority ownership of both companies would go a long way towards ensuring they act according to state interests. Yes, it's that mixed. That's the conversation I want to have. I don't want full nationalization of their companies, but I do want to prevent price gouging and this nonsense from people like Caranti, for sure. Who, let's not forget, tried to like bribe me right at the beginning of this playthrough. I found so hard to remember the regions and people names from this game. Blutus sounds like Rick and Morty stuff. They do a good job of the codex, though, I will say. Like, if it ever slips your mind, you can very easily, like, search what you're looking for and get a very quick idea. This is an excellent feature in the game, and it's very responsive and stuff as well. I quite like it. All right, over to Hullsword to see what our next big problem is going to be. Ooh, quite okay. Ooh. Language bill prepared by Casaro. Oh, no, we're going to have to make this decision, aren't we? Watching minutes behind. Jamaicans answer questions with questions all the time. Man 1, you good. Man 2, why? Yeah. Is that like is that an actual like cultural thing though? I'm curious, because it's, again, I'm speaking purely from like an Anglosphere, North American perspective of like. Because to be fair, the correct response to how do you do, which is a question, the correct response is how do you do, which is also a question. Correct air quotes, as far as age-old traditions and all that crap is concerned. But that's interesting about I don't know if that's like a linguistic thing, a cultural thing, a social thing. I'm curious. You've piqued my curiosity. I don't know if you're making a joke instead either. Instructions, you're trying to trigger my my moments from Monday. Hot damn, malnourished. Casaro Kibner is preparing a bill which aims to unify Swordish education by making Swordish the only language accepted in educational institutions, excluding specific foreign language studies. Okay. I'm okay with that. Everybody does it, right? Anti-Corruption Police Investigation Update. The Anti-Corruption Police have completed preliminary investigations into suspected members of the Old Guard, including Orso Hawker, Heron Garasi, Lilias Graf, and Vulcan Kruger. There's his name. It did have it's not Krieger, but Kruger. Close enough. No concrete proof of corruption or other wrongdoings has as yet been revealed. Well, keep searching, or make something. I mean, what? I wasn't saying make something up. Lobby the Assembly. The administration can start a lobbying effort to sway votes. Okay, this is not what I was expecting. This is something else. Wolf Ravenwood, I don't want to talk about it, is my answer most of the time. When somebody, how do you do, that's what's the word, etiquette. The correct etiquette is to respond with how do you do, but obviously it sounds weird, because how do you do is a question. But yeah, I'm the type to be like, if I get asked, hey, how's it going? How's life? Etc., etc. I answer honestly. And if somebody goes all like, whoa, okay, I wasn't expecting that, it's just like, well, then why'd you ask? If you don't actually care, then don't ask me. Don't make small talk with me like that. So much education talk. Well, we're past it now. Now we are talking about lobbying efforts. Oh, I see. I see what you mean by lobbying. Chief Strategist Lucien Galati has prepared a well-planned lobbying effort in the Parliament, which would specify sway on the fence, which would specifically sway on-the-fence MPs for the upcoming constitution vote. The plan includes lavish parties, gifts, and even some political favors. Should we go ahead with the plan? Bribery? I don't think so. Instructions unclear. It's going all right. I've had better days. This year's been an interesting year. It's been a rough one. And like I said earlier, like I alluded to earlier, I have some melatonin-related stories to share afterwards. I'll do them in the Discord after the stream, but before I start recording. It's been an interesting couple days, especially. God, yeah, we're not gonna bribe. We haven't done it yet. Why would we start now? I think Jazzy B. I hope that's only for the pun. Bribe to survive. Bribe to surbribe. We haven't bribed anybody yet. Why would we start now? Why would we start now? It's a sign of the times. There's that Discord link in the chat as well. Don't hesitate to join in. Wonderful place to hang out. It sounds bad, but it can bring a new bright future with a better constitution to the country. Is it really that bad to make a few favors? We've secured, haven't we like mostly secured the vote though? Aren't we there though? And exactly, yeah, exactly. My anti-corruption police will be after me if I start with the corruption. I don't think we should bribe, folks. I don't think we should bribe. I'm not sure we have all the votes. Agenland economy stabilizing over here is news, actually. I didn't notice the highlight there. The Agenland region is stabilizing its economy thanks to investments we have made. However, it is still struggling as the economy is not doing so well overall, I guess. But hopefully with a highway completed and with a trade deal with our neighbors, it'll get a little bit better. Sorry, I'm in the wrong spot here. Goddamn. I was so sure we had... You lost some support with some of your actions. Probably. Wolf, yeah, that's... I can get behind that statement. Nico, you're back. How's it going? You got some apple cider. What's for lunch / dinner? Stroke the mustache, ponder. I do have a bit of a curl that I can curl. Yes. What to do here? You need at least 166 votes, and you don't have enough votes. We had 120 or something 2 sessions ago, and then last session, the PFJP promised me, supposedly, all their votes, which would give us enough votes with some wiggle room as well. We had over 100 votes for sure. I can't remember if it was 120 or more than 120, so we should be fine. You control the anti-corruption police? No, actually, I don't. The anti-corruption police is under the control of, what's her name? Was it Lilius? No, Nia. It was under the control of Nia. We don't control the corruption police. They're a separate entity. Oh, yes, the pizza, Nico. Too many toppings to list? Alright, sounds good. I'm glad it's delicious. Yeah, Nia's the one who controls the anti-corruption police. And I should be investigated and thrown in a cell if I partake in bribing. Nia and Carl? Oh, okay. Yeah, right, of course. Wish there was a way to check your current voting support. Yeah, me too, kind of. Like, just at least, I should have taken notes, is what I should have done. I should have taken notes. I didn't realize how often I would have to refer back to a number that would slip my mind. Nia is my ally, but she's my ally because I'm on the same page as her. You're misunderstanding, I think. I think the PFJP was included in the original count. Oh. You might be right. You see, corruption is opening me up to trouble. Corruption is changing what we've done for so very long. I had every opportunity to bribe people before. Why didn't I do it then if I was going to ultimately do it at the end of the day anyway? I did direct who they should target. That's true. That is true. But they might change their tune when I start bribing people. Don't bribe MPs. I don't think it's in keeping with Anton, who we've been so far, and I don't think it's in. I think we're okay. I think we have the support we need. Oh, it's a tough man. This game really kind of. Why does it not? I did click don't ban, right? Do you survive if we lose a vote? I might still get assassinated. I don't know. I'm okay with not bribing. I would rather die knowing that I did not stoop, I guess. I ordered the rural education to be improved. I decided to ban creationism. I was hoping it would say, yeah, okay, weird. I'm pretty sure I clicked the right thing there. I always get nervous with this kind of stuff. No other updates, nothing going on. Time to continue. Wow, we're actually at the next turn. Wild. Let's do it. Chapter 3. Victim of Changes. Is this a play in 3 acts? Is Chapter 3 the last chapter? With 5 more turns? No, oh no, this game is amazing. I gotta tell you, like this game, if you haven't already picked it up and you're considering it, I'm just having so much fun with it. And like, everyone can get completely different playthroughs and completely different results from completely unexpected options and decisions. It is really a magnificent game. It is, again, I listed as one of my gems of 2020 in my video that released in, I think it was December, I guess. And I stand by that assessment. This game's amazing. It is episode 13. Yeah, I did notice that. I didn't mention it myself because I didn't want to jinx it, but it is episode 13. Yes, it is indeed. And I've had questionable luck with all of my episode 13s across all of my playthroughs typically. 10 turns and 4 chapters, but I don't think everyone is in equal length. 10 turns and 4 chapters. Oh, okay. I read it right, but in my head I interpreted the other way around. I interpreted it as 10 chapters and 4 turns each. I was like, what the hell? We got a long way to go. Friday the 13th. Sure, bit of a stretch, but I'll take it. I'll take it if we really want to jinx this episode. Hey, you know what they say about 13, right? Unlucky for some, lucky for others? Question mark. BFF recruitment. This is not good. It is reported that in the villages around Suzerain, a group of BFF missionaries are seeking to recruit militants to fight for the BFF. Governor Braun reported that the gendarmerie forces in the area are now actively working towards eliminating the threat. Got a little bit of terrorism going on, you know, nothing to worry about. If we're, oh no, that's a horrible thing to say. But if we're lucky, all the terrorists will. No, I'm not even gonna finish that sentence. Hot damn. I'm just thinking about the medical concerns in that neck of the woods. Is all I'm getting at. The radical world ignores the Blutish plight. Barred from high-paying jobs, discouraged from attending universities, spat on in the streets. Where is the outrage against Sordland's relentless oppression of the Blues? For decades, Blutish swords have been treated as lesser beings, with the law still allowing rampant discrimination from businesses and educational institutions. We call on the international community to raise awareness of this tragedy so that we can begin promoting equality among all Swordish citizens. Yeah, I can get on board with equality. You deserve to lose, says Nico. I mean, hey man. Maybe. What is losing? What is losing anyway? Volgish man shot after burning Agnolian flag. Oh dear. The Helgeland protests that started against the governor, who was appointed by the Agnolian government, are continuing without slowing down. After the supportive statements by Chancellor Emmerich Hegel, the Volgish protesters assembled in front of the governor's office in Helgeport and waved Volkslandian flags. One Volgish protester was photographed as he climbed the flagpole of the governor's office and brought down the Agnolian flag. He was shot by the Agnolian authorities on the island when he attempted to burn the flag with gasoline. Protesters claim he was shot in the neck and was killed immediately on the scene, while the Agnolian government has not yet released any statement about the subject. The incident sparked further unrest, and protests turned into riots around the island. Many Volgish protesters are now calling for Volgland to save them. Chancellor Hegel was quick to respond to the incident, saying, "Volksland stands together with her people in Helgeland. No regime can murder its citizens because they protested. If this conflict continues, Volksland holds the right to intervene to save her people." Yeah, Agnolia, I don't know about killing people. Here we go, says Jazzy P again. Oh dear. Oh dear. Now that was strange. We had I got a new member notification, but Streamlabs didn't seem to corroborate. What? Streamlabs has been problematic for the last little while. I think I've been noticing that the floodgates and stuff we've seen have been the result of Streamlabs, not the result of YouTube. I gotta figure this out. YouTube's not reporting anything. Oh dear. I hope we're not about to see a bunch of spam messages from Streamlabs. I hope not. Wish there was an option to give the Bloods their independence. I'd be tempted to do it. I mean, keep in mind, it would take a huge chunk of your land. It is a separatist movement. I more than welcome them to live, you know, in Sordland, and I'm more than willing to uplift the Blutish people. We've tried in the past, right? We've tried. Obviously, not allowing terrorism. That's different. but we've stood by Blutish movements when it makes sense, for sure. For sure. Who thought BFF was a good name? I think that's part of the point. Blutish Freedom Front, I believe, is their name. Or an option to give them semi-autonomy. I mean, they have a political party, and we've, you know, not shut it down or anything. I don't think all of Bergia is separatist. Only pockets of Bergia. I believe like the border regions and maybe up to Ribel, I think, are separatist. Sergio, there's no way for some federation with the Blutists. I don't know until we get there, I guess. Or maybe I've shut that option out completely. I couldn't tell you. Yeah, who knows what options there are. Jazzy B's on point there. As he says, even after 5 playthroughs, I'm seeing new stuff in this run. Yeah, that's what's so great about this game. A call from Mr. Caronti. Oh no, I hate this guy. And there's that music as well. I was in my office looking through the agenda for the upcoming meeting at the Ministry of Economy. The meeting was going to be about the ownership of the Big Four, the 4 largest companies in Sordland. Heart of Sordland, Burgess Steel, the Sordish State Corporation, and Nadam Mining Group. Some of these companies were controlled in part or entirely by the state. The others were mostly or completely privatized. I had the power to change that. The phone rang, and I put the agenda down. Where's my option 2? Where's my option 2? Just let it ring. Pick up the phone. Greetings, Mr. President. It has been a while, hasn't it? Let me try to remember. When was the last time we had a chat? Oh, I remember. It was in Conriat, when you refused my gracious offer. Yeah. For a good reason. You were trying to bribe me, piece. Well, we're both adults here. I'm sure we can let the past be past and focus on the future. Although this time, I'm talking about the short-term future. Your upcoming ownership meeting, for example. But before we move on to that, I can't help but mention your tax hike, Mr. President. The increased taxes have made a substantial dent in the HOS's net profits. This has hurt the backbone of the Sordish economy. But I assure you, it's nothing we can't endure. Yeah, maybe you should sell one of your yachts? Good. We'll endure it. He looks like a human snake. I can get behind that. He paused for a few seconds. Out of goodwill, I will share a key piece of information. The Lotharberg Group has contingency plans if you decide to do anything rash that would disrupt their empires. You can't blame them, can you? Imagine someone trying to take your authority and personal wealth away without your consent. We'll have to deal with whatever I decide. It's a tough world. We will only ask for a reasonable share, nothing out of the ordinary. I don't see why we should be enemies. Yeah, I don't. This is like, I don't see why we should be enemies. We can be friends. And also my way or the highway. Marcel is working for ease. Too true. Way too true. Yeah, each run of this game isn't super long. It's just, like, obviously I'm talking to chat and I'm mulling over every decision more than I would if I was just kind of like speed running it, stuff like that. Increase the time of the stream by at least half an hour. We don't get to see much gameplay. It's a difficult thing to do because Fridays are a pretty packed day in terms of all the work I have to get done. It's a tough thing to do, unfortunately. I remember Friday streams aren't even supposed to be a thing, but we had so much fun at that birthday stream that we kept this going. I don't see why we should be enemies. Again, I'm hoping for a mixed approach over here. I don't want full nationalization. I don't want full privatization. Exactly, says Marcel. So we agree. We see eye to eye. If everyone plays their cards right, we'll be fine. Now, let's talk about those cards. Since the start of your campaign, you've adamantly promoted a planned economy. Going by that, I'm worried that you will attempt to nationalize Sordland's largest private corporations. Nationalization as a concept goes against everything my father built and stood for. If you do want to go down this road, I must insist on you excluding HOS from any such plan. That is my most important request. Think of your corporate allies as a sea of ravenous sharks surrounding you. We could coexist peacefully, or... let's not even imagine that scenario. So you're calling yourself a ravenous shark. So you're literally saying... That's... the hell? I'm not the only one who's seeing this, right? Natalie, yeah, I feel like we roped you into Friday streams already. Thank you, I suppose. I mean, I've been having a great time as well, though. Don't get me wrong. I was having a great time. Chat was having a great time. We were all having a great time. So I was like, yeah, let's do Friday streams. Let's get this done. But to extend it would be problematic for like all the other like videos I have to record, write, edit, all that kind of stuff. It's dangerous. He's threatening the president right now. He's literally threatening us. Nationalization is sort of a bad idea. Again, and I reiterate, I'm hoping for a mixed economy approach. It's an absolute threat. He called himself a shark, him and his buddies. A shark. A ravenous shark. What do I gotta do over here? I just gotta, like, bleed a little and you'll dive in? Nah, I don't like this. I don't like this. Imagine this scenario. You'll either help me out or I'll eat your little company for dinner. Understood? Yeah, hey, man. Am I really about to mention a certain type of soup? Don't get your knickers in a twist. I was planning on leaving HOS alone anyway. That's a strange turn of phrase in the context of this game. It's never had this kind of a statement. That's a weird one. I don't give in to threats. Your time is over, Karanti. It's either 2 or 4 over here. I'm honestly tempted to go with 2. Calm down, don't get angry, and not fully privatize HOS because of it. Don't get angry and not fully... Sorry, I don't follow. Right, Natalie? This is the first time I've seen like this sentiment, this kind of sentiment. It's not something usual in this game. Very tempted by 2, honestly. Yeah, screw this guy. I do love the wording. Imagine this scenario. You'll either help me out, or I'll eat your little company for dinner. Understood? As long as you do as I say and exclude my little company, I will gladly help you. We're not stealing property over here. He's been threatening constantly. They're called the taxes. 2 is dope. That was the way to go. So Imperious gotta go work. We'll watch the VOD later. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. Thanks for dropping by. Hope you had a good time. And good luck with work. Have yourself a wonderful rest of your Friday. And if I don't catch you before the weekend starts, have a wonderful weekend. Thanks for coming through, buddy. Natalie, I wish that was an option. Wish you could, like, type in your own options and machine learning would interpret what you're getting at. I always keep my end of the bargain, Mr. President. Don't forget. You had better keep yours as well. He cleared his throat. Before we end the call, there's actually one more thing I would like to discuss. I will be blunt. Mr. Tusk is unfit to be the spokesperson for the Lotharborough Group. His archaic thinking has only preserved a status quo that benefits himself and precious few others. It is high time something changed. Ooh, interesting. I mean, I see where this is going. Should I stop him? You're telling me not to fully privatize HOS because of this conversation. Privatization is what they already have. Nationalization would change what they are. Instructions unclear. I wouldn't be too sure of that. They just call it a different thing, right? The Lannister always pays their debts. Yeah, look what happened to the Lannisters. I see where this is going. I wonder if I could play them against each other. I want him gone. It's time the group had a proper leader. Me. Here's what I propose. A win-win situation. If you could use your powers to make Burgess Steel, Tusk's main company, state-owned, he would lose considerable influence, which means I could take over. If I take over with your help, I will be forever indebted to you and support you in all your goals, be they re-election or something more. How does that sound? Now these guys, yeah, I had a feeling, Lecture. I had a feeling. I was just clarifying. Yeah, good to know. Good to know. These guys are dirty, man. Hot damn, very dirty. I don't even. Sounds profitable to me. Deal. I'm not gonna make a deal over here. I do hate Tusk. I could say I'll have to think about it. I could say I'll have to think about it and then do it, because like I will be at least partly nationalizing. I will not openly make a deal here. Yeah, I think 2 was like, you know, I'll have to think about it, and he'll be like, okay, you know, just keep it in mind. I do hate them both. Yeah, it's like it really is a matter of who do I hate more. And yeah, I can't trust this man. If I say that sounds like a deal, okay, 1's definitely not an option. I'll go with 2. I'll have to think about it. Don't let him know your thoughts. Yeah, 3 is tempting, Judah. 3 is tempting, but I feel like that would immediately set him on a war path against me. Whereas this, at least I can string them along for a little bit and I can make that decision later. I think. I'll have to think about it. Just think about it. That's all I'm asking. Well then, I've taken up enough of your time today. This has been a productive call. Thank you for your time, Mr. President. Goodbye, Mr. Caronti. I'm not going to be rude, but I'm not going to be amicable. Goodbye, Mr. Caronti. You've taken up too much of my time in my life in its entirety. If I never speak to you again, it'll be a lifetime too soon. After a couple minutes, I went back to reviewing the agenda. Always keep Machiavellian principles in mind. I just got Tupac in my head. Can't complain about that. He's going to backstab you either way. I know, exactly, right? He's going to, exactly. I can't trust that man, for sure. News update. There's a couple things going on. The Journal. Turn 8. Marcel Caronti told me that he wants to topple Walter Tusk. Walter, between the two, Tusk is definitely the slimier one. Definitely the slimier one. Read the report from Urzin. Illegal crossings rise at Welland border. Border police have reported an increased number of arrests as Bludish and Wessex refugees attempt to enter the country from Welland. Temporary detention centers have been erected in Suzerain to process the deportation of the illegal entrants. Very well, and then we've got any other... Nope, just the news. The Radical. The refugees suffer because of rain. As more and more Blues and Wessex attempt to flee Welland, we are seeing the consequences of Anton Rain's inhumanitarian border policy. Turned away from Sordland, families face homelessness, starvation, and persecution from Victor Smolek's regime. Some head to Lesbia, where they are accepted but must undergo the country's labyrinthian asylum process. Politicians there are already complaining of a refugee crisis. Rain must act now before more lives are lost. Oh, so they're allowed to complain, but God forbid we complain. Set the anti-corruption police on them? Yeah, I wish I could do that. Well, I mean, actually, right now, I think it's more important that they stay focused on the Supreme Court, because they could prevent our bills from passing, right? Like our what's the word I'm looking for? Constitutional reforms. Lucien scheduled some time with me to discuss the potential political repercussions of the upcoming economy meeting. He arrived on time as usual and took his seat right across from me. See, this guy's always on time. That one time he was late. Stuff happens, man. Good morning, Mr. President. Lucien had dark circles below his eyes. The plethora of political developments must have been weighing even on a workaholic like him. It's never nice to call somebody out on looking tired. You look miserable. You doing okay? But at the same time, it depends on how they take it. It feels like the caring approach. Jazzy P, goddammit. You look a bit tired. Are you getting enough sleep, buddy? I am trying to, sir. Don't push yourself too much, dude. Chill, man. Relax a little bit. I will try not to. I must say, you don't look much better. I take offense to this. I will have your head for this. I looked at myself in a small hand mirror. Similar circles were beneath my eyes as well. I booked some of your time to pre-plan for today's meeting at the Ministry of Economy. We need to be cautious. Any grand plans about the economy also heavily influence our political standing. We would be changing our relationship with the old guard, the oligarchs, and the opposition. As you know, this meeting will give you the opportunity to alter the ownership of the Big Four, the largest corporations in all of Sordland. We can start the process of nationalization or privatization, or we can just keep the status quo. Again, I remind you that any change will tip an already fragile balance. I personally think we should stay out of this and keep things as they are. There is no need to make new political enemies at this stage in our term. I might be on board with what Lucien is saying over here. Natalie, exactly. You look like dirt. Well, thank you. Oh. But ultimately, the decision is yours. What are you leaning towards? How should we move forward? Honestly, Lucien has his best interests, has had our best interests on mind always. We've ignored him once in the past already with the whole education conversation earlier today. I feel like 2 is the closest we will get to our mixed economy. Now here we're not making a decision, we're just letting him know what our opinion is. And at the very least we can agree with him. I mean, I could test the waters. I could be like, we'll nationalize these companies. See what he has to say about that. If he says like, listen, this is a terrible idea. I've set a precedent. Well, again, like I've been trying to do a mixed economy, and it's just like it's not something. Even though the game hints at it, the game hints at like, hey, yeah, we can partially nationalize. We can have a small stake in these companies. When the decision time actually comes, it's not how it's phrased, which is unfortunate. That's maybe my one complaint I've had about this game throughout the whole process. I've had 2 complaints. One is that with regards to the decision making, and the other is like sometimes you just want that 4th or 5th option. But that second complaint isn't a real one, because with a game like this, you can't prepare for all potential options. Let's see what he says. We will nationalize these companies. Let's see what he says. Again, this is not the decision. I have to ask, why? What is your intention? Truth be told, I don't care what anyone thinks or says. I will do what I believe in. No, I cannot allow a major part of the country to run without my input as president. The oligarchs must submit to me. That's not true. Hold on a second. What the hell? It's not about me. Okay, this is actually an excellent example of the other thing I was mentioning as a complaint. Where is my 3rd option, where I believe that it's, it was our promise, our election promise. It is. I believe corruption and capitalism is running rampant and exploiting the less fortunate. Where's my 3rd option here? They're both tyrannical options, exactly, Ted Knight. Ted Knight and Ease tag teaming over here. I don't know which one's less terrible. These are both bad options. These are both out of character options, I should say more clearly. Sorry. To be clear. The hell? Sure, I guess I'll go with 1. What the hell? That's... Yeah, option 3 is Alt F4. Honestly, it feels like this is weird. I don't like this. This is actually the worst I've seen that second complaint come into being, which is just my luck. Oligarchs must submit to the president. They can't. There's a difference between not making threats and submitting. I guess I'll say this one. It's true that the more control we have, the better. Your administration still bears responsibility if we let the oligarchs determine the course of the country. One thing to remember is that since you've been transparent about promoting a planned economy, nationalization will not cost us much support. Lucian took a note in his notebook. I received a report from the Ministry of Economy that may impact your decision. Unfortunately, we've missed our government budget targets for the current quarter. The plan to change the ownership of important assets could help us generate much-needed resources to further improve economic development before the next election. The plan to change the ownership could help generate resources to further improve the economic development. Okay. In which way? It's just something to consider, as is our relationship with the oligarchs. Yo, if nationalization bumps up our budget, that's going to be a serious consideration. We might be aiming for nationalization, but we need to remember that they only care about their own profits. They being... We might be aiming for nationalization, but we need to remember that they only care about their own profits. You're talking about 2 different things here. Nationalization... We don't only care about our own profits. Privatization... What? That's the most... What? The hell? The game doesn't like middle paths, and I suspect that's intentional. Trying to punish indecision and fence sitting. I mean, a mixed economy is not indecision, though. A mixed economy is a very, like... it's a very real and present path In many countries around the world. Yeah, that's what I thought, NL Tops. That's what I thought. It was a little confusingly phrased, or maybe it's just me. We missed our budget targets. You don't say. Yeah, exactly. Oh, thanks. I wasn't aware, Lucian. Thank you. Yeah, he must mean... That's the only way to interpret his statement, but it's a weird punctuation again. Unfortunately, we aren't on good terms with them. This situation has been obstructing some of our efforts in the economic recovery. If our nationalization plan hurts their assets too much, we may end up at war with the men who control much of the economy. Oh, I see. So he's saying if we nationalize, it might hurt our budget even more. Yeah, that's exactly right, Spindle. Yeah, exactly. We don't want the Lotharberg group to be our enemies. It'll endanger our re-election. If we nationalize only a part of their companies, perhaps we can avoid confrontation. Okay. The oligarchs must be destroyed. Seizing their assets is the way to go. If we nationalize only a part of their companies, perhaps we can avoid confrontation. I want to see what he... Again, I'm getting a temperature check here from a man who I trust on this topic. Yes, that's the only kind of nationalization they'd accept. I'm sure that Tusk will have further requests afterwards, though. Some of my connections indicate that there seems to be a contest for leadership in the Lotharberg group. It looks like Marcel Caronti is making moves to become the key figure. Caronti probably wants his father's seat as the head of the group, and Tusk doesn't want to let go of it. It's a significant power struggle considering these are the heads of Sordland's two largest private corporations. Because we're going down the path of nationalization, we will have the power to tip the balance towards either side. Since you've already made the decision to nationalize, you need to be decisive in your follow-up actions. No. Don't tell me that was the decision. It made it sound like the conversation. This is a pre-meeting. The game made it very clear that this was a pre-meeting. Huh. Did Marcel or Tusk contact you? I received a call from Marcel. I'm not going to lie to this man. He's my chief strategist. Yes, I received a call from Marcel. What did he ask for? He wanted to make a deal to leave HOS untouched. And then? I threatened him with a nationalization in return for his support. It worked. I said I'd think about it. Ooh. Yeah, I think we're just discussing our actions. Yeah, I don't think these are... Yeah, this decision is not final. Yeah, okay, good. I did say I'd think about it. I didn't threaten... Did I threaten him with nationalization? I told him I'd eat his company, and then he asked for the favor. I'm not... Did I threaten him with that? I'm trying to remember now. This is, I threatened him with the nationalization of all the companies earlier. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I'm just trying to figure out which one is honest. Is 2 the honest answer? 2 is the honest answer, right? I mean, I did say I'd think about it, but did I also do 1? I can't remember for the life of me. I said I'd think about it. 2 is true for sure. Let's go with 2. Yeah. I'm not going to lie to my chief strategist. I need him to help with being my chief strategist. Very well. Was that all he wanted? He also wants me to nationalize Bergia Steel to take down Tusk. As I expected. This internal conflict among the oligarchs puts us in an interesting position. It does. We might be able to twist one against the other. Didn't I literally say during that conversation we might be able to take advantage of the situation and turn them against each other? Unfortunately, we're playing this game, and you have to play within the parameters. The game doesn't want the middle ground. Yeah, true, David. However, it always implies that it will allow the middle ground. That's the problem. It implied that we could have a minority stake in these private entities, but then when it comes time to make a decision, it doesn't give us that as an option. That's my complaint. If the game never implied that option, I would have no issue. But it implies it, and then it takes it away from you. That's my problem. It just needs to tweak that a little bit, one way or the other. Either way is fine, but it needs to... Ironically, the game is taking a middle ground with those 2 decisions on either side. Our relationship with Walter Tusk hasn't been good so far. Any move we make now has to be calculated and thought through. Lucian looked at his watch. Very well then. It's almost time. I will inform Mr. Hall of your decision, and he will make the necessary preparations to formulate a plan. Oh, wait, hey, hang on, hold on. What the hell? I must get back to work now. See you at the next meeting. Thank you for your time, sir. Lucian got up from his chair and left the office. Corruption tackled. Thanks to successive anti-corruption policies, the illegal behavior has been largely reduced. Well, that's good. I was worried the update was about our economy. So that was the decision then. That was a pre-meeting. We were told that was a pre-meeting. Not only was that not clear, it was clear in the other direction. I am not happy about that either. That's ridiculous. The game literally called it, literally said it was a meeting before our meeting. It's not. It can be changed. I, oh Lord, I assume that's how you say that. I, oh Lord, says it is not. All right, so maybe it can be reversed afterwards. That's a sneak attack. Honestly, what the hell? We'll find out. We'll find out. If it can be changed, then fair enough. But normally when something gets written down over here, it is the decision. What the hell, man? You cannot part nationalize one and part privatize another. I thought that was the implication of nationalizing Burgess Steel, but leaving the others be private. I feel duped too, Natalie. Me too. It can be changed, says Lexia. Okay, good. You can change it before the meeting. Okay, good. Okay, good. I wish it wouldn't make it so, like, that's such a statement. That's such a, like, a final statement, you know? Threw me right off. It's never done that before. Has it happened a couple times? The lack of clarity sometimes bugs me because it's hard to tell if the future conversation will happen or not. Yeah, exactly, yeah. The clarity is so important in something like this. Now, hopefully I just, you know, hopefully this is just a mistake, and we can in fact change this if we want to. I don't know if we will. It shouldn't state our position though. Normally, it's only stated things that we have done. Anything that is a final order is what gets written down in the journal, not decisions in the making. You know. Like here, it doesn't say, I told Marcel Caranti that I would think about blah, 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 blah. It doesn't tend to do that. Anyway, it is what it is. We'll see what happens. Don't change it, stand by your strategist. Well, my strategist told me not to change anything. He said to keep things status quo. Yeah, exactly, Spindle, exactly. Just change the verbiage there and you're good. We'll see. Some of y'all in chat are saying it is not final. I'll trust you. I imagine you've either played the game or you've seen evidence to the contrary of what I'm seeing. So let's not, I guess, jump to a conclusion. I was jumping to a conclusion. Maybe I shouldn't. Hopefully it can be changed. We'll find out soon enough. Tensions keep rising in the Markian Sea. According to reports from the Agnolian government, the Vogslandian fleet, which has been patrolling the Markian Sea, was directly responsible for the disappearance of 2 fishing vessels, a drilling ship and an oil tanker that belonged to Agnolia. Prime Minister Van Horten called the Alliance of Nations to investigate the incidents. Prime Minister Van Horten condemned Chancellor Hegel in his speech yesterday, saying, "The Chancellor is trying to imprison us in our homes with his show of strength, but he should know Agnolians are not scared. We are always ready to fight for our home." Oh, wow. Okay, so Vogsland is starting to act up now. Fair enough. Vogsland being these guys. Fair enough. The oligarchs hacked your game so you can't privatize it all. Clever move they made. Yeah. We have to make the decision. Okay, so this is the decision-making, it seems. This is the decision-making. It is an older version of the game, yes. The game has been updated not once, but I believe twice now. But I can't, unfortunately, have to start a new game to participate in the updated version of the game. The drums of war are beating in the north, and poor Sordland is as broke as ever. Now, last session we were at -4. We're a little bit richer. But yes, here we go. I suppose this is the decision. Now I say here we go, but no, here we don't go. Folks, I guess it's a bit of a cliffhanger, but we are calling it a session over here. We've hit that time frame of ours. I got to get to a couple of things for the day to make sure the weekend's releases stay on schedule. So we're going to be picking our moves next time. Again, we'll be back at the same time. Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern. Again, Daylight Savings has moved things around a little bit, but it'll be the same time as today, at least next week. And the week after that, things get screwy again. Ted Knight, come on. Such cruelty. I can't help myself sometimes. I can't help myself. But yeah, thank you all for joining in. I hope you had a good time. If you did, make sure you hit that like button on your way out, whether you're watching live or you're watching the VOD. Again, it makes such a big difference. Just letting me know what people are interested in, if I should keep this going, or things like that. It always really helps. So thank you very much for letting me know. Of course, a big thanks as well to our super chats today. Like I say always, it makes such a big difference in just keeping the channel alive, keeping these streams alive. It has made a very big difference to just how I approach everything on the channel, between super chats and, of course, all of the channel members and patrons. And again, it's broken. Why? It's like it randomly chooses when to work, because we can hop on over and get our credits. There we go. A massive thanks again, and as always, to the super chatters, to the channel members and patrons who have been supporting the channel on a monthly basis. Again, and I say this all the time because it's true, because it makes a very big difference in just, again, keeping things going, keeping things alive, and helping make a lot of the big decisions on the channel as well with regards to things like streaming and whatnot. Ren K1124 coming through with that super chat, with that super sticker. You're feeling a little salty because of the end of the session there. Well, thank you very much for that super chat. I greatly appreciate it. Like I was literally just saying, it makes such a big difference. Spindle, thanks for making work bearable. Well, I'm glad I was able to help in some way. I'm glad you were able to join despite work. Good luck with the rest of the day. And yes, a wonderful weekend to all of y'all. Eavesdropping that Discord link as well. Don't hesitate to join that Discord. I'm actually going to hop in right after the stream as well, before I get back to recording and writing and stuff like that. But yeah, credits, because it's like their names that come up at the end of the of a show, and they're what make the show possible. Credits, I think, yeah, makes sense. Credits. I mean, thanks. What's another term for it, Nico? I'm sure there's better words I could use, but I feel like that's a nice way to say thanks for making all this possible. Is, I guess, what I get at whenever I throw that up on screen and whenever I say thank you, because it is what makes all this possible. Folks, enjoy the rest of your Fridays. Enjoy your weekends. Monday, we will be back with more Crusader Kings 3 action. Things are continuing to heat up around the equator in the Indian subcontinent. That should be a good time. Phantom Brigade has a new update. We'll be playing that on Tuesday, same time again. 10 a.m. Eastern, keep in mind daylight savings, so same time as this past week. That should be interesting as well. New update, massive new guns, things to experiment with, a reworking of the missiles system as well. Should be a fun time. And then Friday, of course, we are back again with more Suzerain. Thank y'all very much. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend ahead of you. Until next time. Cheers.